She's
Hi,
designed to
guys.
be chaotic, but that doesn't make her any easier to sit through. Not every character on Bluey gets the same reaction from fans. Some of them you genuinely look forward to seeing, while others show up on screen and you're already a little bit sick of them. Today, we're gonna go through the most loved and the most hated Bluey characters across all 3 seasons, and why people feel the way they do about them. Starting with the ones people just genuinely can't stand. First up, we have Tina. Now, Tina, of course, is Bluey's imaginary friend. She has her own episode in season 3, pretty much just called Tina. She's invisible, and she causes an almost unreasonable amount of damage for a character who technically doesn't exist. The reason fans don't like Tina is pretty simple. She just makes everything worse. She ignores advice, she fights other imaginary friends, and her hygiene situation is, well, it's a little bit concerning. Her teeth fall out, which the show treats as completely normal, and in the original episode she was so destructive that the creators had to write a second version just to make the story work. That is a character, for sure leaving a mark. There aren't a lot of vocal Tina fans online. The people who do talk about her mostly agree she's pretty frustrating to watch, which I think was kind of the point. She's designed to be chaotic, but that doesn't make her any easier to sit through.
Why? I feel good for her.
Now, next up is the Terriers. Now, before you come at me, I do understand they have a lot of fans. And the 3 Terrier kids, they do show up across a few episodes here and there, which is fine. They're not the worst characters in the show, but they do bring a specific kind of energy that a lot of fans find quite exhausting. They're loud, and they don't follow the rules. They push into other kids' games without being invited, and they have a habit of making things worse for everyone around them without really facing any sort of consequence for it, which, to be fair, is accurate to a certain type of kid. But that doesn't make you want to watch them for a full episode. Some people find them funny. You know, the chaos they can cause is pretty ridiculous.
How about this? Oh my god. Why you're bald? Why you're bald? Wait. Here you go.
Hi, I'm Bryson, and I have a lot of siblings. Naturally, I've already made videos about them and slandered their names. Don't worry, Mom and Dad will get their chance on the slander spotlight soon. In the meantime, I decided to compile all my favorite stories about my siblings. Please enjoy the Sibling Saga. Hey, Brenner, if you jump off this cliff right now, I'll give you...
A penny. A penny. Oh?
Hi, I'm Bryson, and a while ago I made a video about the times I almost died and the times I got hurt really bad. But that got me thinking about the other injuries in my family, and one sibling came to mind. One who had dodged the grasp of death more times than I can count. The sibling who had little to no regard for his own mortality and would regularly hurt himself. The wild child, if you will. The youngest brother, Brenner. This is gonna be a long video, because Brenner gets injured a lot. I don't want to cut out good stories or do a part 2, so let's just sit down, relax, grab some popcorn, and laugh at my brother's pain. Now, almost all of Brenner's injuries were self-inflicted. However, I think it's only right we start the video with Brenner's very first injury, the one he got
From me.
Brenner had recently been born, and my parents invited me into the room to say hi to my new baby brother.
Who?
Oo, tapos buhayin mo ang ilaw dito sa kitchen. Yan, buhayin mo ang ilaw dito, pati yan. Very good, ano.
If I said hello to him, he reached out his hand and scratched my chest. Now, obviously, Brenner was just a baby. He had no control of his body and was just moving around. But my 4-year-old brain could not let this slide. How dare you? First, you come into my house, take my spot as the cute youngest child, and take all the attention from my parents? And now this? I offered you my hand in friendship, and you attacked me. You must pay recompense for your actions.
Hey, no, stop. Just calm down. Don't do it.
My parents tried to stop me, but it was too late. I reached out and scratched him back. He began to cry, and my parents put me in timeout. Little did Brenner know, his pain had just begun. Okay, in all seriousness, I felt really bad for what I did. Even now, I still regularly apologize to Brenner about it. But he can't even remember it, so he doesn't care. Brenner, my conscience has really been getting to me lately, and I'm so sorry about what I did.
Dude, that was 17 years ago. Can you just move on? I forgive you, okay?
Thank you. I love you, Brenner. I'm so glad I could get that off my chest. Remember in my pain video where my brother Brody slammed the door in my fingers? Yeah. Apparently that experience runs in the family. Brody walked through a door as a young Brenner was sticking his fingers in the hinges, and Brody slammed the door again. Brenner's fingers bent every which way.
If I had a nickel for every time I slammed a sibling's fingers in the door, I'd have 2 nickels. That isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Luckily, Brenner's fingers didn't break, and the doctors fixed him up. Feel better soon, buddy, and don't get into any more trouble.
I will make no such promises.
One time, me and Brenner were playing tag, and rather than be tagged by me, he jumped into a busy street and a car barely avoided him. I guess Brenner was more willing to die than lose at tag. Would you rather die a terrible death or...
Definitely death.
Wait, you didn't hear the other option?
Death.
I genuinely don't know why he is so accident prone, but this next story was no accident. You know how sometimes your mom has a really good friend, so she decides to make you hang out with her friend's children, but you don't like them? Yeah. When I was younger, my mom sent me and Brenner to play with the neighbor kids, Jake and Steven. The main reason I didn't like Jake was because he said, "Your sister is so hot." Brittany was 18. Jake and I were 8. Have you considered shutting up? Anyways, I spent the day tolerating Jake's shenanigans, but eventually I hid from him on the front porch and watched Brenner and Steven play in the front yard. "Come here, Brenner, I want to show you something." Brenner walked up to him, Steven grabbed his hand, reached into his pocket, and pulled out a pair of scissors and started cutting Brenner's fingers.
Stop!
I ran over to them to check on Brenner. His fingers were bleeding and he was crying. I slapped the scissors out of Steven's hand, grabbed him by the arm, and forced him inside to his mom. "Hey, Steven just cut Brenner's fingers with scissors." Oh, Steven. What? That's it? I was shocked. Call my mom right now so she can pick us up. We're leaving. We left and Brenner's fingers healed just fine. But still, that reaction from the mom was not okay. Luckily, I never had to go to that family's house again. Reminds me of another time Brody was really young and another boy was punching him. My mom took the kid to his mom and told her that his son was hitting Brody. And all she did was say, "Soft hands, Hunter." I mean, come on, soft hands? How about punishing your kid for hitting a stranger?
You clearly don't know how to discipline children. Here, I'll show you how it's done.
A lot of Brenner's injuries were caused by him wanting to grow up fast and to keep up with his older brothers. For example,
My turn.
My turn. That's my favorite too.
Bryson doesn't need training wheels on his bike.
I like all.
Neither do I.
I like all.
Let me try.
Bigla ang road trip.
Oh yeah.
Isang spray.
Why not?
Ready na. Mag-Rexona lagi.
What happens?
one time, Brenner tried to set a trend that the other brothers would follow, and the consequences were severe. This next story is the real reason I made this video. I'm honestly still surprised that Brenner survived this. It was bad. In our basement, we had a tall exercise machine that looked like this. Brenner decided that he wanted to climb it and jump off it onto our beanbag for fun. However, this time it went horribly wrong. Brenner pushed the beanbag close to the machine, climbed up, and jumped headfirst with the same regard for his life
Oh,
that
no,
a Minecraft
no.
player has when seeing one block of water at the bottom of a cliff. Part of the beanbag covered the exercise bench, which extended out, hiding the big metal part underneath. Brenner thought that since there was part of the beanbag there, it would be soft. But his head slammed through the beanbag into the metal part and he split his forehead wide open.
Oh yeah. I already saw that.
Mom and Brittany came running into Brenner crying with blood all over him. They freaked out and dashed him out of the house to take him to the hospital. I only caught a glimpse of him as they ran out, but I could tell it was bad. Brittany and Mom later told me that they could see Brenner's skull through the gash in his head. My dad sent me to a friend's house so they could watch me while my parents took care of Brenner. I remember sitting on their stairs, terrified that I'd never see Brenner again. God, please hear my prayer. If you make Brenner be okay, I promise I'll never be mean to him again.
We're going to hell.
At the hospital, since Brenner was so accident-prone, he kept pointing to cuts on his head that were from previous shenanigans. Is this cut old or new? Is this cut old or new? Is this old or new? Finally, my sister was like,
This, the gaping gash on his forehead, that is new. Forget the rest of it, fix that.
somehow the doctors patched him up. I think they even had a plastic surgeon involved in fixing his head. When I next saw Brenner, he was up on his feet with 25 stitches in his head. But he was okay. Phew! I thought you were gonna...
We'll get
God, please hear me. Okay, Brenner, can you please calm down on the injury? Prone. They kept pointing to cuts on his head that were from previous shenanigans. Is this cut old or new? Is this cut old or new? Is this old or new? Finally, my sister was like,
This, the gaping gash on his forehead, that is new. Forget the rest of it, fix that.
somehow the doctors patched him up. I think they even had a plastic surgeon involved in fixing his head. When I next saw Brenner, he was up on his feet with 25...
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's true. That's literally 24.
stitches in his head, but he was okay. Phew! I thought you were gonna die, Brenner. I'm so glad you're okay. Anyway,
Oh yeah, no.
Brenner still has a
Right,
massive scar across his forehead, but thanks to the doctors, he was okay. Brenner, can you please calm down on the injuries? You're gonna die if you're not careful.
It's not hard to die. I could do it like right now. But like number two,
Another time, a young Brenner was using the bathroom and found a bottle of painkillers on the countertop. They were coated in a sugary glaze to make them go down
No,
easier.
that's not
So
my
Brenner took the
favorite.
pills one by
Don't
one
look
and
at
sucked on them
this.
till they ran out of sugar, then spat them out. He did this over.
I have to do another show tomorrow. Bye. Bye.